And these mushrooms make you feel better by keeping you calm.
Someone's there. Come on, speak up. You'll be first.
I'm Groot.
There you go. Zero, you are first. Put that down here so I can see it. Just changing the thumbnail for the video. Pixels. Pixels. 080. We will anchor the bottom. That looks good. And we'll add some text. Why'd you skip the B? Hey Mike, how are you doing? Add some effects. Let's see. Blending. Bevel and emboss drop shadow. And make the shadow big. There we go. Flatten it. Save it. 8 is fine. Close Photoshop. And today I'm going to continue working on those beefy mounts I made. They came out really nice. I'm just updating the thumbnail for the video. And you. There we go. There. Now the thumbnail's updated. Just wait for more victims to show up. Need a light over here to light my face up a little bit. Should I show that? I gotta be careful what I show. Let's see, let's do a screenshot. Let's do it. Let's keep it safe. Hey Asger, how are you doing? I have this nasty tendency to display my details, which I shouldn't do. Okay. And I'm not sure what information on this form is identifiable. So the safe solution is to white out any numbers that might be usable against me. Where's the paintbrush? There it is. White that one out. White that one out. Just in case. That's fine, that's fine. Should get rid of the last 4 of the credit card just in case. I don't think anybody can use it, but why risk it? Save. There we go. Wrong one. Right one. I'm doing all right. Just hoping in 7 days this mess ends. Hoping it'll be all over with. Nothing yet. The next meeting is the 31st. And I really think I'm not going to take his shit this time. I can't deal with another month of the stress. It really messes with your head pretty badly. And I'm going to tell him straight up. I was like, the only thing I want to hear out of you is, you're done. Your violation is cleared. You'll never hear from us again as long as you keep your property clean. And then I want the hell out of there. If he says we want to continue it another month, I'm going to say no. Just go to court. Let the judge decide. Take it out of your hands. And hope the judge is not a psychopath like him. And because there's no trash now. There's not a spot of trash anywhere on the property. So if they still have a problem with it, then it's personal. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully he just wants the place cleaned up and that'll be the end of it. And I'll never hear from him again. If you haven't seen the video on the other channel, I think I finally got the Comcast situation fixed. In fact, let me check right now and see if I can pay it yet. Just waiting for the credit to clear before I make a payment, because if you give them your money before you get the credit, you'll never see it. Come on, clear. Damn it. Oh. Minimum payment. $49.22 to bring your account up to date. That implies that the payment did go through. Why isn't it showing it? That's weird. Let me try logging in here. I don't care about that. Looks like it cleared, it's just not displaying. Because now the minimum due is different.
I'm rude.
Oh, 87755. Hey, Big Bad Joe. I haven't caught them coming by yet. So I haven't seen them do anything yet. Oh, great. Routine maintenance in my area. Nice. No, Big Bad. You must have had such a glorious experience with Comcast, because a self-checkout lane experience would be like heaven. A self-checkout experience would be like heaven. So why does it say new charges of $109.95 due October 6th? What the hell is that? Okay. Why does it say negative 90? Oh, okay. One-time charge, negative $100. Good. So the credit did go through. So I can make the payment. I don't trust Comcast. I don't give them a penny until I get the proper credit. It cost me an extra $20. I don't care. She said, we'll give you $100 credit. I was like, fine, I'll take it. I was like, it's supposed to be a $120 credit. I don't care at this point. I just want this off my shelf. off my desk, so to speak. Okay, so it should be $59.17 that I owe. 59.17. New credit card. Why is this giving me a problem? Oh, battery must be dying. Oh no. Why can't I click here? 12. Done 24. Why can't I put in a security code? Let me do it from here. Payment. Another amount. 59.17. And now, pay new credit card. The form is not exactly compliant. I'll just do it. Really? Stupid fucking verification codes.
I'm Groot.
31609. I'm trying to give you money. Why do you make it hard to give you money? It's like, come on. I'm trying to give you money. Just take my money. There it goes. Where's the right one? There's the right one. 75. Okay. Go away. Code 785. Use default address. No, different address. Store payment method. Continue. Review payment. 59.17. No, we're not going to do automatic payments to submit. Oh, yes, we are. It's only $10. I might have to do that again. Okay. Yep. Sign in. Make sure that's done. Really? Again? 813. Don't ask me again. What a pain in the ass. Sorry, I'm just about done. Once that credit goes through, then that $100 will go away. Okay. Okay. That should take care of that. Yes, Zelle is wonderful. Because Zelle, you don't have to pay taxes. Because it's a direct transfer from bank to bank. Zelle@Nerisse.com. Yeah, if you have Zelle and you ever want to send me anything, Zelle is by far the best way. Because it goes directly into my bank account. You don't have to worry about transfers. Anything goes right into your bank account. There's no fees for it. Zelle is wonderful. Now, some of you may or may not know I have a GoFundMe up, and it's actually helping. And I'm telling everybody, I'm being transparent. I'm using that money strictly to pay my insurance and my taxes. I've gotten just over $900, which is so far enough to pay half of my insurance bill and half of my tax bill. And to show that, where is it at? Here, yes. Show people I'm not screwing around. I need a cord for this mouse. The battery is starting to die. Is this it? Yep, that's it. This one will do. I need power. There is power right there. Power. It screams, feed me, feed me. Really? A knot? How does that happen? Nobody in the universe of physics will ever understand how that happens. There we go. Half a watt. So, to show people I am not screwing around, my auto policy is paid in full for 6 months. So that's half of my car insurance payment. And then my tax bill, I have 2 years past due. This is 1 year, is now paid. I just made that payment today. So, not screwing around. The next $600 I get will pay the second past due year, and then I'll be caught up on my taxes. Let's take a screenshot of this and post that to the thing as well, so people know I'm not screwing around, not spending joy money or whatever. I also finally got my keys attached back to their lanyard again, so I don't lose them again. Because that's what screwed me the first time. I was at the 2023, yeah, 2023 3D printing show in Denver, and I had both this and the key to my Kia hanging off my neck, and it was getting annoying. So I took this off and I stuck it in the car, and I lost it after that. So I'll never do that again. Never, ever, ever do that again. If anything, this will come off my neck because I can always 3D print another one of these. And now I've got to find the blank for this key. I can't show it. Well, I can show it to you on the video. You're never going to get a high enough resolution picture. But I got to find this key blank so that I can 3D print this key as well. And I still don't know where the spare is. Oddly enough, I would swear on my life the spare was in the car. Although maybe when I lost this, I got the spare out and then lost the spare too. So the spare is who knows where. Hopefully it's in the house and not outside because all the trash is gone. So if it was in one of those bags or cans, it's gone. It's $160 in the trash landfill. So hopefully that's not the case. And but yeah, so now I don't have to worry about my keys anymore. The car works fine still. Obviously I can't leave Edgewood since even going to Moriarty is dicey. It's only 10 miles away, but there's a hill coming back, and when I go up the hill, the BMS cuts the battery out. Maybe with a full charge, if I charge it up all the way, I might be able to go to Moriarty and back, because obviously the voltage drop is relative to the voltage of the battery. So the voltage drop while the battery is fully charged is less severe than the voltage drop when the battery is half charged. So if I fully charge it, I might be able to go to Moriarty and back without a problem. And that might also be the solution to going to the transfer station. I'm actually going to test that probably next week. I'm going to go without the trailer. And but first I'm trying to figure out a way to use my big battery box. I have a really big one. These little battery boxes like this. I have a really big one that'll put out 1200 watts. That's enough to run the car's trickle charger. I mean, obviously you're not going to get much range on that. I'll get 4 miles out of that battery. It's a 1.5 kilowatt hour battery, which give me actually about 6 miles. That'll add about 6 miles of range to the car, so a good emergency backup actually. But if I can get the trickle charger to work off of that battery, because the problem is these boxes don't have a ground, and like the Nissan charger actually checks for the ground, and if it doesn't see a ground, it won't work. But if the third-party charger I have doesn't check for the ground, or if it's less finicky about it, if I can make it work off the battery pack, then I can bring the battery pack and the charger with me. Because I don't have to charge the car. I just have to charge it for a couple of minutes to reset the computer. Because once the BMS cuts off the battery, it's impossible to turn it back on. When you turn the car on, it's just a 12-volt system. The traction pack, the big high-voltage battery, is permanently disconnected until you plug it into a charger. Then it resets. So I should, in theory, be able to use the battery, plug the car in for 5 minutes, reset the battery, and then try to climb the hill again. Just slower. Hey, it's charging at 2 watts. Nice. Yeah, I found one of these on AliExpress. You know how they have the cables that have the little display to show you how much power is being consumed, so you can tell how much power is going into your device. So it's taking 2 watts right now. Well, this is a micro USB cable with a display. Very cool. If anybody ever sees a mini USB cable with a display, please let me know. I mean, theoretically, if I can get an adapter to go from micro to mini, I can just plug it into this. But having a dedicated mini USB cable with the display would be nice. But I haven't found one yet. You know, the one that looks like a little house. Let's see. Mini USB A. Images. That would be this one. So if you ever see one, mini USB is an older protocol. It's this plug right here. That's mini USB. You remember them? If you have any old gadgets, it probably has that connector. So that's your USB A, and then you there's a couple of different kinds. Like this is B, mini B, which is slightly different than mini A, and that's micro. So that's your micro USB. And of course now we use USB C. But what I'm looking for is this connection that has that display on it. Haven't found one yet. It might not exist. But I might be able to, I didn't think of that until now. I might be able to get an adapter to go from either micro to A or C to A. And then just daisy chain that with a cable that has a power meter. And that should theoretically work. Because you can do a lot of diagnostics just by being able to, like for example, I know this is working properly because I can see that it's drawing power, and it's drawing the right amount of power. This charges at between 0.5 and 2 watts. So I know it's working correctly. It's also good when your phone is supposed to charge at 25 watts and you want to make sure both your battery and your cable are capable of putting out 25 watts. You plug in one of those cables, and then it'll tell you. If it's not charging at 25 watts, it'll show a different number. If you see 4 watts or 5 watts, that's slow charge. That's like if you plug it into your USB port. 10 watts is standard charge, so that's your standard normal quick charge. And anything above 10 watts, that's what you want if your phone's capable of it. Like my phone is capable of a 30-watt charge, 30 or 40 watts. And so that'll allow you to test both, make sure the device is accepting the charge, and make sure your battery is giving the charge. Because wrong battery, wrong cable, wrong device, and you don't get the charge you want. Basically, all devices start off at the 5 watts, or maybe 10 watts. And then what'll happen, if you watch it, you'll see it happen. You'll see it'll either go to 5 watts, 10 watts, and then it'll go to 0. And then it'll go 3, 5, 10, 12, 15. It'll start ramping up the wattage slowly until it gets to whatever wattage it's all the equipment. Basically, it's a negotiation. The equipment negotiates a protocol. And it's a pretty dumb protocol. It's not really intelligent. Usually it's just a resistor of some sort in your device. The PD charger reads that resistor and says, okay, I can go this high. And sometimes the device will intelligently throttle. And but either way, you'll see it. It'll go 5 or 10 watts, then it'll go 0, then it'll start ramping up. and you'll see it ramp up to its proper, as it switches from USB to PD. And as a matter of fact, on some of my cables, you'll even see that. It'll go, 10 watts. And then you'll see it go 0, and then the PD will light up, and then it'll start ramping up. And I actually have the problem where the one charger I have is a 30-watt charger, but my device will actually take like 35 watts, 36 watts from it. And the problem is that's too much. And so after about 5 minutes, the charger turns off because it's overheating. And that's because the charger's dumb. If the charger's 30 watts, it should self-limit to 30 watts. But instead, it lets the device take a little more, which causes the thermal protection to kick in. Pain in the ass. You just get rid of that charger and you get a better one. Or you use that charger only on devices that you know are never going to take more than 30 watts. So Michelle's using that charger now. It's a nice charger. It's a nice little unit. But my tablet tries to draw too much power from it. But Michelle's phone doesn't. So it's perfect for her. Let's see. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Close that. Close that. So the mounts. They actually, of course, I got just the wrong size, of course. But it's okay. I got a couple that'll fit it. But the idea is, I have these solar lamps. This one's actually smaller. This is one of those, I can't block enough of the solar panel. That. Nope. There it goes. There it goes. It turned on. So this is one of those fire lamps. And so the idea is I can take one of these lamps, I make a mount. You see this mount is beefy as all hell. I mean, this thing is a monster. This is like 400 grams of plastic, something like that, or 300 grams. It's heavy. This will never fail. This will never fail in the sun. And if you're worried about UV, paint the goddamn thing. Then you don't have to worry about UV. Okay, but I left the bottom open for both the infill and the hole, and that is so that if any water gets inside, it drains out. And now this has 4 screw holes. You only really need 2, but I put 4 in just because it's symmetrical. And so what I do is I screw this into the top of my 4x3 fence post, which are about 3 feet high, and then I can take the lamp and stick it inside. And now the lamp will just sit inside of this, and that's it. Now I have a little post for my lamp. I could put a sleeve around this to make it fit better, or I can just print a custom one just for this lamp. Probably what I'll do is, I actually think what I'm going to do is, I was going to make a custom one for each lamp. And I realized that's not a good idea. Because if I make a custom one for this lamp, for this post, then I can only ever put this lamp on that post. I'd have to print a new one of these. Instead, I noticed that the other lamp that I want to use, this is the one I actually made it for originally. I gotta get this all sorted. But this one's actually too big, I think. Yeah, so it's just a hair bigger. It actually almost fits. Almost. 1 more millimeter, and that would fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit bigger to accommodate that lamp, and then only print the big ones. And then what I'll do is I'll print in a sleeve that I can stick in here to adjust the size of this for whatever lamp I'm going to use. And that way, if I change lamps in the future, all I got to do is remove the sleeve, print a new sleeve, which will be 10 grams of plastic, to fit in there, and put the new lamp in. So I can even do that in phase mode. Just do my ribs that I do, but without the outside ribs. So it'll be just a cylinder with ribs sticking out of it. And those ribs, I'll just change the size of them to adjust the internal diameter to be whatever lamp I put in here. This way, I only have to print one of these. And then as I develop sleeves for different lamps, I can even make those sleeves available. So if you happen to have that same size lamp, you can just print the sleeve I already made. And if other people, okay, I bought XYZ lamp from Walmart, here's the sleeve for it, and now everybody else can just download that sleeve and print it. And because we'll do it in phase mode, it will it'll eliminate filament waste issues. You just print a phase mode sleeve and jam your sleeve in there, stick your lamp in there, and you're done. So that's what I'm going to do with that. But these came out really nice. I printed these at 0.5 millimeter layer height, except this little section right here, I did a 0.2 millimeter, and that came out fantastically. I'm very, very pleased with how nice that came out. Very smooth. You see there's a little shelf inside there, and that's where your screw is going to sit. So this just take a standard deck screw, just 2-inch screw is all you need. Oh, 2.5-inch screw, 2.5-inch screw. This is about an inch. So yeah, this came out really nice. It takes about 4 hours to print one, but I want it to be permanent. I want it to never ever have to worry about it ever again. So that is a 1 millimeter nozzle print with 3 walls and 20% infill. That you can kill someone with this. I mean, this is a weapon. You could just. So this is nice. I'm actually thinking, because of how beefy this is, I can get away with using PLA to print this. I'm printing them in PETG. Nice PETG. This is $35 a kilogram atomic filament. But it's just going to fade the color. The sun's going to destroy the color. But I was thinking wood PLA is more stable than regular PLA. And printing it this beefy would eliminate a lot of problems. So, I'm also going to not print it with a 1 millimeter nozzle. I'm going to extrude 0.8 millimeters out of the 1 millimeter nozzle because this is way overkill. When I got the second one done, I realized this is so overkill. Come on. It does not need to be this beefy. I mean, I could print this with a 0.8 and it will still last longer than the next nuclear Armageddon. I mean, this is never going to fail. You would have to. By the time you hit this with enough force to break this, you've taken down your entire fence, and this is the least of your concerns. Okay. How do I check that? I guess I just log into my bank account, I guess. Because it should just go right to my bank account. Sometimes Zelle is instant, and sometimes you gotta wait the next day or a few hours. It's weird. Usually it's instant. Like, and it's weird. My brother, Logan, my brother in Pennsylvania, he sends me gas money so I can go visit Michelle because I don't make enough gas money, and I don't make enough to put $50 every 2 weeks into the gas tank. I just don't. And so he sends me gas money so I can go visit Michelle. That's one of the reasons why I'm really glad I got the Nissan going, because now I only have to use the money he sends me to visit Michelle, because I only use the Kia when I go visit Michelle. For all my local driving around, I use the Nissan. Yes. There it is. $1. Oh, you can't see that. It shows up as shared branch deposit Zelle 6532. $1. And he also sends me $40 a month to pay Michelle's phone bill. He's helping out. I appreciate it. I appreciate him helping out because I'm taking care of Michelle by myself, and so I appreciate the help. And I notice when he sends me the $50 gas money, it's instant. It shows up in my account like that right away. But when he does the automatic transfer every month for her phone bill, it takes 3 days to go through. I think when you do the automatic transfer, it's doing like an ACH transfer, so it waits for it to clear. But it does it differently when you do a one-time send like you just did and like he does with the gas money, so it goes instantly. It's weird. I don't care if it works. It's what matters. So I'm going to print this with a 0.8 millimeter because I think that's more than strong enough. 0.6 is probably strong enough, but I'd rather have beefy. I want these to last basically forever. I don't want to have to ever replace them again. So that's why I'm going to design them to be universal. And I might even scale it up a little bit. Right now this is 3x3. and the post is 4x3. However, I might scale this up to 3.5, rotate it 45 degrees, and chop off these 2 screw holes. This way it still fits on a 4x3 post, but I can make it a tiny bit bigger because I want to make this hole a little bit bigger, but I don't want to make it shorter. And going to 0.8 will allow me to make the hole bigger and still have 2 perimeters at the top. But I want to keep this height for torque, so that when something is in here, that if, because we get 60-70 mile an hour winds here, so if something is in here and this torques, I don't want this to break. And so I want this to stay beefy and tall like that for that moment of inertia to absorb that torque. And moment arm, I think you call it. But yeah, that came out really nice. I mean, and you saw how quickly we made that in Tinkercad last week. It's easy, and it looks nice. I mean, it's not bad. It doesn't look like it's just blocky. It actually looks nice. Just being able to do that little bit of curve on here made a big difference. Thank you, Big Bad Joe. Thank you very much. I don't know if you want me to tell people how much that was. If you do, let me know. That was very generous. Thank you. And, oh, it will. That's 1/6 the way to my second tax year. Yeah, he sent me $100. So thank you very, very much. So let's go back into Tinkercad and make the appropriate changes. So where's Tinkercad? There it is. And go to full screen. There we go. Lamp fence post, Tinker. There we go. Now, remember last week I made the that thing I made the last thing we detached the center here, and now you're going to see why. Because now it's super easy to come in here and modify this shape. So this is 38. Let's see what happens if I make it 42. Then center. Okay, that's definitely too thin. So we have to undo this, and we have to change the top radius to 24. That's too much. Let's go 23. That's acceptable. And now we can do a 42 millimeter plug. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything, shift, unselect this, rejoin. Oh, I also wanted to change this. I didn't want this to be so deep. No, actually it's okay. That's okay if that's deep. That's perfectly okay. So select this, shift, unselect this, join. And now we have our completed piece with our whole... What the... Oh, it is. Now, is it me, or does that piece coming out the bottom look smaller than the piece coming out the top? Is that just me? This really looks smaller. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's a perspective thing. Tinkercad's doing a perspective thing. No, it still looks smaller. Now it looks good. Oh, that's weird. This looks smaller. Oh, how strange. That is so strange. Let me bring up the chat session again. And of course that happens. Live chat. I have to switch back to all messages because it loves switching me to top messages. No, not tapered on the inside. Doesn't need to be. Yes, it is much better. I mean, PayPal's not bad. The problem is PayPal is taxable. They don't take a whole lot for the fee, but it's taxable, and so is GoFundMe. GoFundMe is taxable income. So now we adjusted that, reset it, and there we go. Now this will be the new size. I could make it bigger if I need to. I can just make this wall straighter, but I like the taper. But the inside's just straight. And now what we'll do, okay, so what's the best way to, oh, the easiest way to do this is pretty easy actually. You just take something like this, and let's say we have a 40 millimeter. Let's say we have a 35 millimeter post that we want to fit inside of this. So this is a 42 millimeter hole. So I'm going to make this a 41.6 millimeter. And then we're going to make this 75 tall. So 75 tall. Oh, come on. 75 tall. And then we're going to make it 8 and 8 is 1.6. So we're going to make it 1.6 millimeters thick. 6. I was wondering about that. It's one of the reasons I wanted to raise it up. Now, there are multiple ways I can fix that, and they're not the most elegant. Well, first of all, I'm using deck screws, so they're coated. And, of course, I would advise using stainless steel screws if you're not using coated deck screws. I like the look of recessed better. There are a couple solutions. One, I could bring this up to the top so that there's very little recess. And that would allow the water to not accumulate, and it would evaporate pretty quickly. You see, it's not that deep. I could make it shallower. You know, actually, why didn't I think of that? You're right. Hang on, there's an easy way to fix this. Okay, so first things first. Okay, that needs to change. Okay, let's join these together first. I need this one, this one, this one, and this one. We're going to join you guys together. And let's stretch it out like that. And then bring it down until it passes through the bottom. Good. Now what we do is we bring this down until it just penetrates. There. And now we take all of this, remove this, join that. Now as you can see, it just penetrates the surface, but it can drain off here. So now we have our flat top for the screw to have bite on, and the water can drain off the end. Good point, Big Bad Joe. That's a very good point. I mean, it'd be nicer to have the screws fully recessed, but, you know something, this is functional. That looks nice enough. And that'll also make the screw hole stronger. Yeah, I agree. That's the way to do it. Yep, I agree. Being able to see that's the thing with Tinkercad. It's not parametric. However, if you're smart about it, if you understand how Tinkercad works, and you understand the order of progression in combining parts, it's very easy to do. So the way I merge these together, so here's the part. Well, I want to change the size of the hole, which we're not going to do anymore. But all I have to do is unjoin this, and there's my part. And now if I unjoin this again, I can now manipulate these parts. And because of the way I did this, I can change the taper of this because I left it as an unmolested part. So this is kind of parametric. I can come in here and make these little changes that I want to make. And it looks fine. And let's change this to a non-obnoxious color like that so we can actually see it. So now, to make our inserts, this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to have to figure out what the exact size of this is. It's 42, but This needs to be just a hair smaller than 42. So I'm doing 41.6. That gives me a 0.2 millimeter clearance on each side. We should probably just do 41.5, just to be safe. So 41.5, and then what I can do is take this, Control D, rotate it 15 degrees, and then keep D'ing it. There. Now I have my insert. What is that? 485514JRG? Oh. I was like, what was that? So now we have our basic outline for our insert. And we take this and we join it together. And now this will fit inside of here, just like that. Okay? Now what we do is we figure out what diameter is the other part of our object. So again, 75 tall, increase the number of sides to the maximum, center these parts, center, center, and now we join them. And there we go. Now that's a vase mode printable jig. Now to alter this to fit whatever lamp we want, we just unselect that and break it apart. We grab this thing in the middle here and we change the size. So let's say we have a 35 millimeter post. Now we're going to be using a 0.8 millimeter nozzle, which is a 1.6 millimeter differential. It uses outside diameter. We need the outside diameter of the interior hole to be 35. So we have to add 1.6 plus a variance. So 1.6 with a 0.2 millimeter variance on both sides. Let's call it 2. So 37, 37, and then we center. That gives us the 1.6 millimeters we need for the tool path, because the filament is going to consume 0.8 millimeters of space on both sides. So we need to add leeway for the 1.6 millimeters worth of filament. Then we also add a 0.4 millimeter tolerance so that it's not a friction fit. You could theoretically adjust this to get a friction fit, but you're going to have a tough time. If you really want a nice snug fit, the best way to do it is to print it slightly loose, like this, and then as it's printing, like the first part of the print, increase the flow rate to like 120%, or 110%, and like let it print like 10 millimeters, and then put the flow rate back down to normal. And then when you take that jig, flip it upside down. And this way, when you stuff it in the hole, it'll be a loose fit. It'll go in the hole, and then you'll have to tap it in the last 10 millimeters, or last 5 millimeters, to make a tighter fit. So we take this, join that, and now I have my vase mode compatible insert that will fit inside of here. And now this 42 millimeter mount will hold a 35 millimeter lamp. And you can come in here anytime and modify this. In fact, I can even make it as separate objects. So what I'll do is I'll make this as separate objects. So you can bring them both into Tinkercad. And then all you have to do is bring them together like this. Select both of them. Hit the alignment tool, align them on centers. And there you go, you're done. Now you can bring that into Tinkercad yourself. And all you have to do is change the size of this orange cylinder, the center cylinder, to, adjusting for your tolerance and your filament path. So if you're going to use a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, for example, a little solar light, it doesn't have to be this beefy. You could print this whole thing with a 0.4 millimeter. In fact, I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to print this with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle using, say, 6 walls, which I think will still be more than strong enough. And this way I can print it on all my printers. But yeah, that should work for that. So now what I need to do is, I think it's out in the car. It's not in here. I got to find my calipers. I tried to use a ruler. It didn't work. It wasn't close enough. As you see, I was off by about 1 millimeter. But I'll get my calipers out and I'll start measuring my lamps. And what I'll do is, instead of printing one of these for each lamp, I'll print one of these for each lamp. Because if I take this, join it, this is going to be one of the biggest ones. Let's do, yeah, that's fine. lamp fence. Let's re-extract this, export. And that is lamp mount 1, and this is lamp mount 2. Yes. Okay. Now if we come into simplify, really? That's how you're going to play it? Dirtbag. Okay. Let's just remove all these. Get rid of you, get rid of you. Group 1 is fine. Downloads. Let's do mount 1. Okay, we haven't changed the vertical dimensions, so my processes are still good. But what I do need to change is this to 0.8, because I think it's going to be more than strong enough. We already have our tolerance. And I think we're still okay with a 0.5 millimeter layer height. Even though that's technically over 50%, we should be okay when we're printing that fat. Oh, it did change all three. Good. Sometimes it gets that. It changes all three. And that will also reduce the filament usage. That brings us down to, oh, nice, 128 grams. Nice. Oh, yeah, that's more than strong enough. See, I want to make sure we have this, you want to make sure you have this wrap where some of the infill wraps around these holes, because that's what integrates all this together. You want to make sure that there's, basically you got 4 perimeters. I told it 3, but the reality is it's actually closer to 4 perimeters. Is the chat working okay? Yes, okay. The reality is I have 4 perimeters because the infill is part of that. And you want that because that's the only thing that's going to connect this to the rest of the structure. So you see we're very well connected here. What I do is I use 0.2 millimeters for this little section here. I can actually raise that up. But you know something? I like the way it looks, and it's not going to save me much time. That section there looks really nice at 0.2, so I think I'm going to leave that at 0.2. Yeah, that looks nice. And as you can see, we have a nice flat top here, so to drain. And because we're printing it without a bottom, and because all these holes, the screw holes and the lamppost holes, go straight through, it won't hold water. Any water that gets inside of this will drain out. Okay. The water's not really going to hurt anything, but why make it suffer being submerged in water if you don't have to? Plus, you'll save time. It'll print faster by not having a bottom. And we still have our 2 perimeters at the top here. Yes. I don't like the fact that it's empty there, but I think it'll be okay. I should probably take off those top 2 layers. I don't think we need them. So if we do this, if we stop at 74, yeah. There we go. I don't like the way that's broken up, but that's okay. That gives us that solid 3 perimeter top. Without that piece, that'll probably just break off over time. That's perfect. I'm gonna shorten this to 74 millimeters. I think. Actually, would be better if I just made it thicker. Let's do that. So we take this, we deselect. Oop, let's do this first. We get rid of lamp 1. This way it'll still name it lamp 1 when I download it. Now we keep that the same size, and we split this apart again. We go to this piece and we make it just a hair bigger. So 23.2. That should be enough to allow it to fill in that little bit. Join. And join. Change color. Good. Export. Save. And we are named lamp mount 1. Good. Okay. we should be able to simply remove this, get rid of the ending custom zone, and drop in the part again. And that should print better. Perfect. That's it. There we go. So now we have those three. It's a little bit of a zigzag, but that's okay. That should actually help with fusion. Good. Perfect. Now it's printing correctly. That's a little weird, but hopefully it's not starting and stopping. Hopefully that's just printing. Actually, it's not filling in that spot. Now, why would that spot be different? Why wouldn't it fill this in? Oh, I know how to do that. Let's see. Allowed perimeter overlap. Let's do a 20% permission. Perimeters. Allow single extrusion. Allow single extrusion. Now let's try it. Bingo bango. Perfect. That's what we want. Nice smooth lines. That's the mistake I made. Okay. Oh, that's much better. Oh, that's so much better. Much, much better. Ooh, that's cleaner too. No more zigzags here. It's nice and that was the mistake. I just didn't have that done right. I don't need these. Those should just be eliminated, but whatever. I'll let it try to print them. Very nice. I have zero problems with that. I could fix that. It wouldn't be that hard to fix that, but basically I'd put a square here and just cut away that portion of it. So what I would do is I would put a block like this, like that, and then you do this. Just get it in the center. There you go. If you do that, it'll get rid of that little section there. And we could do that. Let's just for the hell of it, we might as well optimize it, right? So sides, radius, take this and this, center on this, here and here, take this, Control D, select this, rotate 90 degrees, Control D, delete these, join. Well, first we undo this, and then we redo this without this, making that part of this, and then we do this. And it's easy enough to do. That'll get rid of that little extra there. That technically that line shouldn't be there. That's a glitch in Tinkercad, but that won't actually print, so it's not a problem. All right, now let's try that. It's easy enough to undo it if we don't like it. Okay, export. I'm going to put this on printables in Tinkercad, so I might as well make it nice. Okay. Get rid of you, re-add you, reprint you. See? All gone. Now you see that little dark blue part where it was warning you that that's not going to quite print right? Now that's gone. And now it prints properly. And we have proper drainage for our screws. Yeah, I got no problem with that. That looks good. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, now we got to make another little change. We got to put this over here like this, and then hit print. Now the reason I'm doing this is that I want anybody to be able to use my G code. So now we take lamp fence post mount 1, G code. This one is going to be 1-0.8 millimeter. So now, if you don't have Simplify 3D or you're not very good at slicing, you can just take my highly optimized slice where I've done all the work for you, and all you have to do is put that G code on your printer and hit print. And now this, no matter what size printer you have, if you have a CR10 or if you have an Ender 3, it doesn't matter because I put it in the corner here. So even though this is set up for a 334 bed, it doesn't matter because I'm inside the 200 by 200 space. So you won't have a problem. Matter of fact, 1, 2, 3, 4. If your printer is 125 by 125, this will print it. And now, of course, that's set up for. Let me save the factory file as well. Save factory file as 1-0.8 millimeter. Save. Now let's modify this to print with a 0.4. So 0.4, 0.4. With a layer height of 0.3. And we are going to do, that's fine for top layers still. Let's do 4 top layers, and let's do 6 perimeters. Okay. 4, 4, 9, 6, 3, 4, 6. This is 0.2, 6, and 6 outlines, good. 4, 4. This is 4, 4, 0.3, 2 and 6. Actually, we don't even need, but we might as well add a couple top layers just in case. But the 6 perimeters should fill that, so we don't need top layers. Okay. Now this will print with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. It'll take 119 grams of plastic, so that means I did it right. We do not need that much infill. Even though it's 0.4, there's no need to have that much infill. So let's change the infill to 15%. Infill extrusion width, let's do that at 120%. We want the infill to be strong. That might get us below 100. That's 111 grams. That looks much better. And you know, I'm betting we don't need that many perimeters. I like having that many perimeters because it'll be nice and strong. But I'm betting we don't need that many. I'm betting we can get rid of 1. Michelle got her lunch. Let's go to 5 perimeters. 5. 5. That gets us down to 100 grams. Nice. So you can print 10 of these with 1 roll of filament. Very nice. I like that. Yeah, that's good. That's plenty. Because that's 2 millimeter thickness. Plenty. And that's enough structure. You should be able to get away with printing this in PLA. Even in a hot climate, this has so much structure and so much beef in it that you should be able to get away with printing this in PLA, no problem. So let's save that. Okay, dash 0.4 millimeter. Yeah, you should easily be able to get away with printing this in PLA. That looks great. Oh yeah, nice and clean. I don't like that single line extrusion fill there, but that's okay. Top is nice. We actually got a full 5 lines on the top. Good. That means we have almost a full 2 millimeter thickness on the top, which is really nice. Yeah, I got no problems with this. and it gets it down to 100 grams. Which is still more than enough plastic. It's only 30 grams lighter than this one, and this thing's bulletproof. So you could probably get away with 2 perimeters, 3 perimeters, and 10% infill. Hey Jerry, how you doing? So YouTube didn't let you know, huh? Mm-hmm. Bad YouTube. Bad YouTube. Actually, might as well check our moves. Yep, there's our zit line. So yeah, I am very happy with that. I got 0 problems with that. Now this is all pet G2. Oh, I gotta change that. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hi, Jason. So this is PETG. I'm gonna call it lamp mount, just because if it's too long, it's gonna have a problem with I want to get rid of the millimeter. We don't need that. How many characters is this? Let's go lamp mount. Let's do this. Because if I make it too long, some printers will have a tough time reading it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18. I don't know what the character limit is. I'll have to see if the CR6SE sees that when I put it in. So let's copy this. Copy. Paste. Except this one's 0.8. And this one is also 0.8. Paste. 0.8. And then we save the factory file for this as well. Save factory file. Paste. 0.4 PETG. And on the big printer, I'm probably just going to use PETG, but let's do PLA as well. So temperature, let's do 220 and 60. That should change for all. Yes. So, and I can also increase the speed. Let's see. Speeds. We are currently at 8. So let's go to 65 and a maximum of 12. File. Save factory file as. We're going to do 0.4 PLA. Save. Prepare to print. And that also gets us down to longer. Oh yeah, the 0.4 is going to take longer because it's a lower layer height. Duh. That gets us down to 5 hours. And we save this. Paste. Lamp mount 0.4 PLA. Now we bring up recent factory file. Where's the recent one? Factory 0.8. Eight. Temperature 220. Platform 60. And change the speed to 60. No. 50. Maximum 12. Because a thicker nozzle, you can't print at high speed like that. You will kill it. Let's see. Prepare to print. That looks good. And takes an hour off the print time. Nice. By printing it in PLA. I might actually print these in PLA because I'm telling you, these are going to be indestructible. There's no way these are going to fail, even printed in PLA. There's just no way in hell. It'll never get hot enough to affect that much plastic. It's only thin parts that have a problem with temperature. So file, save factory file as, paste PLA, but 0.8. Save, and then export. .8. There. Now I have factory files and G code for PLA and PETG at 0.4 and 0.8. If you're a glutton for hardcore heavy-duty parts, you print the 0.8. If all you got is 0.4, then you print the 0.4. So it'll take 2 extra hours. The 0.8 will save you 3 hours. The 0.4 will save you. The 0.4 will save you a little plastic. The 0.8 will save you 2 hours of time. And you know something? I could probably lighten the infill, but I like that infill. Let's check it anyway. Let's see what it looks like if I go to 18%. It only saves 10 grams. Not worth it. I'm going to leave it as the 25%. It only saves 10 grams. It's just not worth worrying about it. Because only the bottom really has infill. There's not a whole lot of infill in the top here. Okay. Now, let me show you how I do this. I need a picture, which I can do again. Let's just do this and this. Take ourselves a nice little picture. And share, drive, upload. Okay. Ooh, pepperoni pizza. Now that's pepperoni pizza. Michelle sends me a picture of her meals when she gets them. She's lonely. She just wants some contact. They finally look like they're fixing everything. Her medicine's all fixed now. They even got these patches for her back that really help a lot with that. Let's see. So, what we're going to do is, see, here's the problem that I run into. I like making my stuff available for free. I just feel better doing that. Play around with Tinkercad, man. It's visually oriented. You'll learn a hell of a... You'll be doing decent basic stuff like this in half an hour to an hour. It really is pretty impressive. Let me show you. I'll show you how quick it is. New design. We're going to rebuild this whole thing right now, right in front of you guys, just to show you how easy it is. So the first thing we're going to do is plop down a square. Okay, second thing we're going to do is plop down a cone. Now the cone will actually place on whatever surface you place it on. We're going to place it on this surface. Okay, there, we're basically halfway done. And then here's our cutout for the middle, okay, where that's going to go all the way through. So we're going to go there. Now there's a few things you want to do. So for example, just to make it as smooth as possible, we're going to increase the number of sides to the maximum. And we're going to do the same thing with the cone. We're going to increase the number of sides to the maximum. How big do we want to make it? We want to make it 3 by 3 inches, which is about 75 millimeters. So 75 by 75. All right, so there's the base of our object. Okay, we're going to put a 42 millimeter hole in the middle. 42 by 42. Okay? We're going to make the whole thing 75 millimeters tall. 75. So there's our center hole. We're going to put this roughly in the center. It doesn't have to be exact right now. Now remember, cones are radius, not diameter. So you got to take half. So we have a 75 millimeter. Let's call it 70. So half will be 35. So base radius, 35. Top radius is going to be 42 plus our filament tolerance, which we're using a 0.8. So that's 2 millimeters we're going to add. So we need 37 for the top radius. But we added a little more, 37.2. We found out that printed better. Okay, so there's 37.2. Now we made this roughly 20 millimeters tall, which means this needs to be roughly 55 millimeters tall. Okay. Why does that... Where did I screw up? That's the wrong size. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's half. It's half. It's half. It's half. If we have a 42 millimeter hole, we need 42 plus 2, 44, 22. There we go. I forgot radius. Okay, so there, we're almost done. This is almost everything. Okay, now we also need to put the screw holes in. Okay, so the typical screw hole for a deck screw is about 5 millimeters. So 5.5 by 5.5 for a little bit of tolerance. Increase the number of sides. Increase the height. Okay, put that approximately where it needs to go. Put this approximately where it needs to go. And we're going to make this taller and sink it in. Make sure it pops out the bottom. There it is. Okay. Now, we need to position this. Now, I could do it approximately like this. And so how would I make this position more accurately? Well, there's a couple different ways you can do it. I think the easiest way is to do an alignment and then a move. So here's the way Tinkercad works. I could take this piece and I could take this piece. And I'm holding the shift key. I select both. So now I've selected both this piece and this piece. And now I'm going to hit this button up top here. This is the alignment tool. Hit align. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to align it with the two corners. So you got this corner and you have this corner. See? Now that brings this piece directly in line with the corner. Now how do I position where I want it? First I click over here to unselect everything. I then select this. Now I can move this. Now I can hit back to put it back where it was. I want to move this linearly on X and Y. So what I'm going to do, in order to fix it to X and Y, I'm going to use the Shift key. So right now I can move this anywhere on the XY plane. But if I hit the Shift key, now it's only X or it's only Y. Okay? So even if I come over here, it's going to pick the X or the Y. It's going to fix it on the X and Y plane. Undo again to get me back here. So let's figure out approximately where I want to put this. So I'm going to hold the Shift key, grab this, and move it this way. See the millimeters at the bottom there? I'd say 4 millimeters is probably good enough. Let go. Now select it again. Hold down Shift. Go the other way. There. Now we're exactly 4 millimeters from each face. Okay? To make sure we cut all the way through, we drop this in a little bit. Now we're passing through the bottom here. Now, there's many different ways you can do the other ones. You can just do the same thing. I can hit Control D, and I can move this one over here, and I can do the exact same thing. So I can grab these two pieces, do an alignment. Oh, one thing I didn't show you is right now, if you align these pieces, both are going to move, which you don't want, because it's going to mess up your alignment with the rest of your parts. You can choose an anchor part. So if I hold down the Shift key and I select the red block, now the red block will stay fixed and it will only move the cylinder where I tell it to go. I want to align it with this face and this face. There we go. Now I take this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. We're 4 millimeters in. because I have it set for snap grid 1mm. Now, there's you do have to be careful because if you're not on the snap grid, then your first move is going to be less or more than 1mm. So if you're 0.8mm from the grid, I just moved it 3.8mm. It's a weird thing in Tinkercad, but as long as your parts are on the grid, then you're fine. Or you can just do what I did. You can hold and move. See? Minus 2.5, minus 3.5. I can just do, see, I was a 0.5 millimeter off. Minus 4, okay? And then take it again, move it this way. It's 5.5, but we want a 4 there. Now it's 4x4 off the center. Now there's another way you can do it. This is a nice trick in Tinkercad. Tinkercad will allow you to do an array. And it's interesting how it'll do it. So if I select a part and I say Control D, there's now 2 of them. If I do a single move operation, you can't do 2. You have to do a single move. So if I move out to here and let go, well, if I hit Control D again, it'll duplicate the original part again and move it the same amount from the new part. Control D, Control D, Control D. Okay? It'll also do this with a rotation. And that's what we're going to use, that little trick, to allow us to put these 4 in the corners really easy. I call this a master ring. You take the torus here, the little donut thing, and you increase the number of sides and increase the radius until it's bigger. This has to be the biggest thing in the object. This must be the biggest part. Now the maximum you can go is 100. If you need bigger, just do it manually. Okay? You can just grab this center one, hold down the shift key, and you can make this bigger. You can make it as big as you need to. Okay? So you create this master ring, and then you select the master ring and a part that you know is symmetrical, that is radially symmetrical. You align, shift, anchor the part, align the master ring with the part. Now you can rotate anything radially in this print by combining it with the master ring. So these are 90 degrees apart. 90, 90, 90. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to hit Control D. I'm then going to hit Shift, select the master ring. Now remember, 1 move. So you have to do this in 1 motion. If you do it in 2 motions, it won't work. So I'm going to grab the control horn here, and I'm going to shift it 90 degrees. See how it places it right where it needs to go? Now watch what happens when I hit Control D again. That one's there, and that one's there. You see? Now, of course, each time you do this, you're duplicating the master ring too. So now there's 4 of these. But we don't need it anymore, so we can just delete it. And now I have my 4 perfectly aligned pegs going through the part. This is done. It took me longer to explain it than to do it. There, it's done. This will print fine. Okay? You're done. You just made this basically the same thing I made. It took what? 5 minutes? Not even? It would probably take you 3 minutes to do this on your own. I spent more time explaining it than actually doing it. Now, of course, mine's nicer. But the only thing I really changed was to make this prettier. So how did I do that? Well, it has this neat little trick. If you select this part, you see how you have radius here? Watch what happens if I mess with that. See that? It makes it pretty. Now, it also keeps it 75. Good. All right? So now it makes it nice and pretty. Now, here's the trick. I come down here and I stretch it. I stretch it until this curved part is below the build plane. Because I don't want the bottom to be curved. Because that's not going to print well. And we don't need it. We want the bottom flat. So I stretch it out. Now, I zoom out. I bring in a block. And I make that block bigger than the whole thing. Now, this block is sitting on the work plane. Unlike reality, we can bend reality in Tinkercad. If I go below the work plane, guess what happens? The part inverts. Boink. Now it's going the other way. Now I know the bottom of this is exactly the bottom of the work plane. I select this, I join them, and bingo bango, now it's cut. Now when I join these all together, I have that nice pretty part that I just made. See? You have that nice curved surface now. Isn't that cool? Now we can do the same thing I just did. Let's say you want to add that nice the indent for the screw head. So let's take and make an 8mm hole. 8 by 8, I think, is the size I used. Increase the number of sides. Bring it over approximately where you want it. And now lift it up. Up, out. Now keep going down. Change your resolution. Let's go 0.25. And just bring it down until you have just a little bit. And there. There. Now we have our little indent. Now how do I line that? Well, we go back to what we did. All right, we have this part here. I'm going to change it into a color to make it easier to see. And we're going to break this apart again. Now all I have to do now is select this clear one and this orange one. I do my align, okay? And I shift, select the clear one. That makes the clear one the anchor, because the clear one is in the right spot. We don't want to move that. We only want to move the orange one. Align, align. Now the orange one's in exactly the correct spot. Now there's many different ways you can do this. You can create another master ring, okay, and do a rotation again. But there's another way you can do it too that's actually a little bit easier. What we're going to do is hit this, Control D. 1, 2, 3. So I've created 3 extra copies. All I'm going to do is pick one of these, pick another cylinder, align, shift, anchor this cylinder, align, align. Boom, there's one there. Now I pick this again. Remember, I made copies. And then I select this one with the shift key. So both are selected. I do align, shift, anchor this part so it doesn't move, align, align. I grab another one because remember I made 4. All right, shift, select. Now both are selected. Align, shift, anchor. So this part stays put. Center, center. Boom, done. Now, what are things you could do to make your life easier? Well, first thing I could do is I could take these 4 and I can join them together. Now that I don't need them to be separate parts anymore. That's just going to make it easier for me to manipulate these parts later. And I can take these 4 and join them together. Again, this is just going to make it easier for me to manipulate these parts. Join. And we're also going to turn these into cut tools. Okay? No. Shift. What I do is I hold down the shift. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's do this. Control D. Oh, that didn't work. I goofed up. Control D. Move it here. Control D again. Okay. I have this here is the center line, okay? So you know, actually, let's make it easier. I'm going to bring this up here. So you know, this is the center, okay? This shadow is the center, all right? Now, if I take, what's the easiest way to show this? Let's make this one a little bit taller so we can see the difference between them, okay? And change this one to yellow, okay? So now I want to align these 2 spheres. If I select this one, and then I hold the shift key, and I select this one. Now I'm selecting both. Now if I do an align, I want it aligned on the blue one, okay? But here's what happens. Oh, I forgot that's a touchscreen. If I hit shift and align, watch what happens. Oh no, it puts them both in the center. Because it's moving both parts to a common center. Now there's a neat trick you can do. What if I don't want to move this part? I only want this part to move. Well, again, shift, select. I have both parts selected. I select my align tool, but here's the problem. I want to anchor one of those parts. Instead of moving both parts to a common center, which is what this is right here, see? See how it's showing me what's going to happen? It's moving these parts to a common center. Instead, I'm going to say, okay, shift. And when I say anchor, what I'm doing is picking my anchor part. I'm saying I want this part not to move. So now it's going to do whatever it has to do to the yellow part to align it the way I told it to without moving the blue part. So now when I do that, the yellow part comes over to the blue part. This is important because if I take this part here and this part here and I align them, they're both going to end up here in the middle. And you don't want that. These cylinders here need to stay where they are because we have them aligned. So what I do is I say, okay, I copy this, and I want you to align this cylinder with this cylinder, but this cylinder is the anchor. Stay put, don't move. And that brings the orange part to the clear part instead of bringing them to a common center. So again, the process for doing that, you select the first part, shift, select the second part. You have both parts selected. You select your align tool. If you wish to anchor one of the parts, you hold down shift again and you select the part you want anchored. You'll know it worked because all of these alignment jigs will go onto the part that's staying put. See? Now all the alignment jigs are on that part. Now it's only going to move the yellow part. Or I can select the two and I can align it on the yellow part. Oop, I forgot to hit align. Align, and then I select shift, select the yellow part. Now the blue one will move to the yellow one. Very, very powerful tool. Very, very powerful to know that. And so now we've created these little indents. And you saw it took us, what, 30 seconds to do that? And there. Now this is almost exactly the same thing I just created. It's done. Now, there is one thing we're going to have to fix here, okay? Do you see the problem yet? Does anybody see the problem yet? This part isn't touching this part because we've curved this edge. Okay, so this part was perfectly flat on this part, but now that this part is curved, it's pulling away from this part. That's so easy to fix. You unselect them, you select this part here. Now the way this works in Tinkercad, this arrow moves the part. Okay? These are your control points. This will let you drag from here, which you never want to do with a cone because it breaks this. It breaks your tools for precise radius. So you don't want to do that with a cone, but you can. Now another trick you can do is you can lock your three dimensions together and you can scale the entire part. So for example, I can grab this and make it taller or shorter. Undo. Or I can grab this while holding the shift key and now the whole part will scale larger and smaller. All right. Now in this case, what we're going to do, one thing you can modify here with impunity is height. You can pretty much get away with messing with height. Although it still is better to use this because then your numbers will actually make sense. Now here's the cool thing. If I rotate this way, that grab point moves down here. And now I can extend this part into the other part to make sure they fully overlap. See how they properly overlap now? Look at the difference there. Look at that versus that. There's actually a gap in between here. See it right there? There's a gap here because this part is curved now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. Now will this, I think I just have to stretch it. Will it honor the fact that I'm upside down? No, it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't do that. But height you can get away with messing with, and it's not going to mess with it too much. Take it, stretch it into the other part. Now we have the two parts combined, while the whole part is still 75 millimeters tall, which is what we want. That's why we just stretched it down instead of moving it. I could have moved it down and got the same result. I could have just done, let's see, nope. Let's do this. I could have just done this and got the same result, but now my part is only 72.5 millimeters tall. I want it to stay 75 millimeters tall. So instead I come under here like this to put the grab point here, and I stretch the bottom. Oh, I had all of it selected. And I stretch the bottom into the other model. And now the parts are going to be properly fused when I join them together. And there you go. That is essentially exactly the same thing I just made, and we just made it again. Now, this took us, what, 10 or 15 minutes? But the reality is this is about a 3-minute job. Most of this time I spent explaining to you how to do it. So you can see it's very, very easy. It's really not hard. And Tinkercad is very visually oriented. Now, how can I make my life easier? Well, I can do this. Here's all of our parts. I can select everything and then unselect the center cylinder. Join. And now select the center cylinder and join again. Why did I do this? Well, now if I want to modify this center hole, I can just unjoin these parts. And I don't have all the other freaking parts to mess with. All I have is the cylinder here in the center. And if I need to go further, if I want to go back more, I can unselect, then select again, and break it apart again. I can go as far back as I want, as long as you're careful with the way you put everything together. Change the color again to make it easier to see. But that's it. It really is that simple. Tinkercad is so wonderful for this kind of thing. And you want to keep things as simple as you can. If you get overly complicated, Tinkercad can crash. And what you do then is you select your part, you do a copy, and then you go into a new workspace. Because if you simplify the part, then you can't go back anymore and you can't make changes. So what you do is you bring less of the part into a new workspace. And now you have a little bit more free reign. And also you might figure out, okay, I did 10 operations to do that, but I just figured out a way to do it in 2. Well, now you go and redo it and you do it in 2. And it makes your life easier. If you desperately need a complex part in Tinkercad and you're having problems with errors, like artifacts will actually appear in the model, there is a way you can get around that, but you lose your backwards history. What I can do is I can take this part, export it, and then I can re-import the part. And now it'll no longer be a part that you can break apart. It'll be a simple 3D model. And now you can go a little further in editing in Tinkercad without crashing it. I sometimes do that when I do my ribs on my 3D models. The ribs, even though the ribs themselves aren't that complex, so for example, if I have a fin like this, let's say I have a rocket fin like this, okay, and I've done 5 operations on this fin, and then I want to add my ribs, and to do that, I have to take a box like this and create a profile image of the fin. So something like this. I'm just doing it really, really rough to show you what I mean. Okay, so I do something like that. Okay, and what I do is I duplicate the fin, I turn it into a hollow, and then I join it with this. What did I just do? Well, now there's a cutout. You can't see it because of the bad color. There's a cutout in this box now that is the exact shape of this fin. You're thinking, okay, no big deal, right? The problem is, if this fin is made of 10 parts, those 10 parts are now incorporated into this new block. And so it gets more and more and more complicated. Because if I take this and separate it, you can see I got an entire copy of the fin. Now in this case, it's just one piece. But if you're making a complex fin, this can get very complex very quickly, and Tinkercad will basically vomit all over itself. So at that point, what I would do is, if I'm not going to make any more changes to this fin, what I'll do is I'll export the fin and then re-import it. Now, instead of being a fin that's made up of 10 different operations, it's a single part. It's a simple STL. And I use that. Now, the problem is, if I change the shape of the fin, I got to redo all that. But it's just different ways you can get around some of the limitations of Tinkercad. And you can make really nice, simple things like this super easy. Anything that's functional is usually pretty easy to do in Tinkercad. And if you need something that's complex, steal it. Okay? Let's say I want to make a threaded part. Go on Tinkercad, or not Tinkercad. Go on Thingiverse or Printables and find a part that has the bit you need. Import that part into Tinkercad and use it. Use it as a mold to cut your part the way you want to cut it. How do you think I made the threads for this? Let's go back here. How do you think I made the threads for this? For my rocket fins? I found an open source screw. Somebody just put it up, open domain, a screw, and I just kept twisting and modifying the threads until I got what I wanted. That's all. And then once I got what I wanted, I exported it, re-imported it. Now it's a simple model. Oh, my hair is crazy. Now it's a simple model, and it's no problem. So now I have threads that I can use to build my models. But that's all. It's that simple. But the Tinkercad is object oriented, so it's like holding clay in your hands. Yeah, the problem with things like Fusion 360 and SolidWorks is you have to learn every single command. And with now the advantage of that is it's ultimately parametric. I can go into Fusion, design something, change one variable, and boom, boom, boom. It'll go through and modify my entire blueprint to account for that variable, including all future operations. It's amazing. But the learning curve is huge. In the time it takes you to bring up Fusion and do something, I'm done. I'm already, for a part like this, I could probably get it halfway done before you finish loading Fusion on your computer. It's for simple stuff like this, it's so fast, it's so easy for doing simple stuff like this. It's very nice for doing stuff like this. Now, of course, if you want to design something seriously complex, okay, you're probably going to have to learn a better CAD program. You're going to bump it. You get too complex, you're going to bump into the restrictions in Tinkercad. And there's also resolution limits as well. When you're printing something this small, the resolution limit's no problem. But even just printing something this size, you can actually see the facets because there's only 64 polygons going around to design this thing. There's only 64 polygons. And so you get bigger than about 6 inches, you start to notice those polygons. And you can't increase the resolution anymore. Now, there are workarounds. For example, when I wanted to make a really nice, smooth nose cone, what I would do is I'd make that shape in Fusion, export it, and then import that shape into Tinkercad. Now, Tinkercad does decimate it, but the decimation is usually fine enough resolution that you're not going to see it on the print. And so that's one way to get the a higher resolution object in Tinkercad, especially if you're not going to perform too many operations on it, which I wasn't. All I did was create a shoulder and hollow it out. So Tinkercad was able to handle that. Also, you'd be surprised how much you can simplify a model and you can't tell the difference when you print it. This is a neat trick you can use. So here, I'll show you. This model is pretty simple already. It's only 166 kilobytes, so I'm not going to be able to simplify this much, but I'll show you the point. I'll show you the process. It's pretty cool. So you bring up Prusa Slicer. Let's see if it wants to update. Yes. Yes. Run installer. Download. I might as well update it. I haven't updated it in a while. But the real power of 3D printing is not really going on printables and Thingiverse and printing stuff. That's fun. I enjoy it. It's also really, really nice when someone else does the work for you. And they already, Oh, I have my iced tea. It's poison. It's pure poison. I don't care. I love my poison. I only get it when it's on sale. Because it's very expensive. It's $8 for a 6-pack. And launch. 2.8.1. Yay! So here's something really cool that you can do in Prusa Slicer. Prusa Slicer is basically a primitive CAD tool. which is nice. So I can load an STL in here, and now watch this. I can right click it, and I can go to, first of all, are there any errors? No errors detected. Good. What I can do is there's an option in here for, where's that? Simplify model. And I'm going to go down, yeah, let's go down to medium. Because this is a very, see, that's too simple. See how it's making it polygons? Watch how it creases it a little bit. See how that's smoother? And that's even smoother? I can't even tell the difference between high and extra high. But medium, I can tell the difference. Now, in reality, I could print that. Because there's not much difference between this and this printed for a functional part like this. But it's already so small. We're going from 3,400 triangles to 922 triangles. But if I go high, 1,736 triangles. So I'm basically cutting the model in half and losing almost no resolution. So let's apply that. Right click. Export as STL or OBJ. Let's call this one 1E for edited. Now let's see what difference that made. So we went from 166 kilobytes to 84 kilobytes and lost almost no resolution. So I basically cut the model in half. And as you see, there's almost no resolution lost in the model. It looks fine. I mean, technically the model is slightly low poly, but you're not going to see that when you print it. And so if you have a model that won't import into Tinkercad, bring it into Prusa Slicer, right-click it. First, do fixed by Windows repair algorithm if it has any errors at all. Okay, it should say one shell, no errors detected. So do that first, and then do a simplify. And then see how far you can simplify it and still have a decent model. And that's a nice little trick for doing stuff like that in Prusa Slicer. I might actually use that. I mean, 84 kilobytes is nice. But let's get real. 166 kilobytes is not big either. Let's delete these. I don't need them. But that's basically it. That's all. It's very, very simple. It's not hard. But yeah, I'm gonna print the new model, and then I'll figure out my tolerances. Print sleeves. You can even print shims if you want. If you want, you can take popsicle sticks, jam them in there, whatever you want to shim it to make it fit better. I'm gonna 3D print them because I have 3D printers. This is one of my favorite things to drink. It's pure poison. I mean, it's 220 calories and 59 grams of sugar. It's poison, but it tastes so good. It tastes so freaking good. My body says more poison. mm. Mm. The deal I made with myself is I only buy it when there's a coupon available. No coupon, no pure leaf tea. So for a short time there, they had a $1.50 coupon. So you got $1.50 off the 8-pack. So instead of $8, it was $6.50, which is only what, $1.08 a piece, which is still pretty expensive, but not bad. For a treat, it's not bad. I've got like 3 cases left. Once they run out, that's it. No more. I won't buy any more. Not until it's on sale again. No. I'm not paying $8 for that. Oh, let's finish up the process here. So to keep the process simple, I'm going to, well, for the purpose of printables, so here's the way I've come. I know this is dumb. I know it's dumb. I don't care. Call it, this is the hill I'm going to die on. Okay? I've decided that this is the hill that I'm going to fall on my sword. Okay? I like the open source, free sharing nature of 3D printing. I know it's stupid. I know it's dumb. Image, let's resize. Let's go to 1200. You are not set to preserve. There we go. Save. Makes it nice and small. 168 kilobytes. Yes. Lamp mount. So, what I'm going to do is only release the STL file. That means I already have one. Ah, right there. Goodbye. Oh, we get rid of you. No, yeah, get rid of you. You're the old version. Get rid of you. So stop turning off. The if the power draw on this battery is too low, it turns off. It stops giving power. All right, we already downloaded the picture. Okay, so now what I'm going to do. So here's the thing. I like the free open source nature of 3D printing. Oh, my shirt! I got a new shirt. Ew, people. It was $13. I had to have it. I couldn't resist. It was available in 6X tall, so I had to get my ew people shirt. I love it. After 35 freaking years, I stopped being a pussy and I finally got my ears pierced. So now I have 2 earrings, and now I can wear the earrings that I print. So those little rocket popsicle earrings I made, I'm gonna get to wear them. But and of course it was just me being stupid. It didn't hurt at all, no pain, and it was $4 on Amazon. Wait do you see how cheap this is? It's so stupidly cheap. It's like, are you kidding me? I called up the local barbershop, tattoo shop, and they're like $150. Like, screw you. I'm not paying $150 for you to put a pair of holes in my ear, idiot. Well, I guess it's not stupid, but it's stupid to me. Oh, that one's not on sale anymore? One of these is on sale. There it is. So wait until you see this. This is stupid. $4. Literally. You can pierce your ears on Amazon for $4 freaking dollars. That's it. It's $4. Here's the cool part. You're gonna like this. I thought this was really neat. So these things here, this is like a sabot, like we use in rocketry. This is the coolest thing. So this little plastic thing here is 2 pieces. And those 2 pieces surround the little earring, and then the back of the earring goes into this side. Now, if you look at the bottom here, there's a little clip. I have a video I'm going to be uploading for this. It's really cool. There's a little lip here that holds the sabot in. What's a sabot? Well, when we launch a rocket, a lot of the times the problem you're going to have is that you have a rocket like this, okay? So the rocket's this big, but the fins make the rocket this big. Right? So you put the rocket inside of a tube as big as the fins, well, you have a problem. It's not going to sit straight. It's going to wobble inside the tube. So what we do is we put a sabot around the rocket. You put a shell around the rocket that makes the whole rocket the size of the tube. Now, the other way you could do it is you can make the fins fold, or you can have pop-out fins. But if you don't do that, you put a sabot. So it's a shell, a disposable shell, that fits around the entire rocket to make the whole rocket that big. And when the rocket comes out of the tube, it's about to turn off. When the rocket comes out of the tube, the sabot blows off. So the sabot pops off, and the rocket missile takes off and does its thing. So that's what they've done with this. That's a sabot. It's a 2-piece shell that makes the earring as big as this hole. And they're doing that for alignment purposes. And when you... Can I zoom in? No, I can't. That's weird. I can't zoom in. Okay. But anyway, there's a spring in here that actually, it doesn't spring it shut, it pushes it open. And when you close this, it's brute force. It's basically taking this earring and shoving it through your ear. And when it shoves through your ear, it gets inserted into the other end. And now here's the cool thing. When you shove it, this is flexible. This little lip here is flexible. And is there a better picture? Yeah, right here. So there's the little sabot that inserts into here. And you see that little lip right there. That little lip is flexible. It bends. I thought I'd switch that. Oh, there we go. So this is the sabot. It's a two-piece shell that surrounds the earring, just like the rocket, like a missile. And it inserts into here and clicks into place. And that holds it in place and aligns it with the back that sits in this half. And when you squeeze this, it literally just rams it right through your ear. Just shoves it right through your ear. And then what happens is this little clip here, this little lip, it's flexible. So here's your little sabot. So think of this. Think of this as the bottom of the sabot, okay? And here is your earring. So here's the bottom of the sabot where that little clip is. That little clip just sits like this, like that, right? And when you push it, this clip bends down and comes down like this. And the earring gets pushed into your ear, and then the clip gets to the back of the sabot and goes click into place. And now when the spring forces the little unit back open again, it ejects the sabot. This way it's not stuck onto your ear. Otherwise you have this thing stuck on your ear, and if you yank it, you're going to tear your ear off. And what an ingenious little design. So this little thing moves behind this sabot and then kicks it out when the spring ejects it. So this is completely reusable. As long as you as long as you don't lose the two halves of the sabot, and they tend to stay with the earring, as long as you're careful, you click and stay, they tend to stay there. You can grab them and you can pull them off, and you have the two little pieces. And you put them back together and click them back into the device. And when you're ready for the next one, as long as you have a compatible earring, you stick it inside the sabot, and you load the sabot back into this. You say, but it's not sterile anymore. Well, only this has to be sterile. That's the only part going through your body. No blood at all. I mean, I didn't even have any swelling. I mean, I was really surprised. I mean, no swelling or anything. I don't even have any ooze or nothing. They just went right in. It didn't even hurt. I didn't even feel it. Like, I pushed them in, and I felt nothing. It was about a second and a half after I pushed them in, I felt a little sting. It was almost like getting a very tiny paper cut. You know what hurts worse? What hurts worse is when you're washing your face like this, and you do this to move your hair, and your fingers catch the goddamn earring. Oh, that hurts. Only for about 10 seconds, but yeah, that remote, yeah, don't do that. But yeah, no pain whatsoever. 35 freaking years I'm worried about, it's going to hurt, it's annoying. It's not really the pain that bothered me. Is I have a thing about putting holes through me. Like, I don't voluntarily allow things to put holes in me. If the doctor says, get your flu shot, okay, I get the flu shot. If the doctor says we need blood, okay, draw blood. I'm not squeamish. I'll sit there and watch them do it, and it doesn't really hurt that much. I just don't like the idea of putting holes in me. And of course, there's also the social issue that comes with that. And I've decided that I'm 47 years old, and I've lived my entire life the way society told me to. I like pretty things. And if society doesn't like that, fuck them. My fucking body. You don't like it? Fuck you. Simple as that. You should see some of the cool shit I got. Hang on. Let me show you some of this. And you wouldn't believe how stupidly cheap this all was, too. We're talking 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents each. It costs like next to nothing. And there's so many cool things you can get for this kind of stuff. Let's see. Strawberries. I love strawberries, so I gotta say strawberries. That was like 67 cents. These are really cool. I like these. They're just these flowers, and they kind of wiggle and dance. I just think that was cool. I love the asymmetrical ones. The asymmetrical ones are kind of cool because each one's different. Like I don't have them yet, but one of them is a little mouse and one of them's a little piece of cheese. I just thought that was so cool. It's like I have to have that. And it was like $1.10. But here's a cool one. These are the same. No, these are different, I think. Oh, there's a bag. That's why I couldn't get it out. I thought these were supposed to be gold, but I guess not. Okay, these are the same, but there's also asymmetrical one. It's a little hexagon thing, and it's got a little flower and a little bee. So, honeybee. Well, if your daughter's sensitive, then just use gold-plated or stainless steel for 1 year. You can't be sensitive to metal. That doesn't make sense. You're not going to be sensitive to it. What people don't realize is that these holes take up to 18 months to heal. The initial healing is 30 to 60 days, but it takes up to 18 months for your body to fully form that tunnel and fully skin that tunnel inside. All right? So if you take cheap metal and you touch it to your skin, it's not going to do nothing to you. So what likely is going on is that she's not fully healed. And so her body fluids are getting exposed to that cheap metal, and it's probably causing corrosion and stuff like that, and her body's reacting to it. So use just something pure, gold-plated or stainless steel, surgical steel, until she's fully healed, and then she'll probably be okay. I'm not an expert. I don't know for sure, but I'm betting she'll be fine if you let it fully heal. Oh, this one's really cool. This one's really neat. Come on, turn around. There we go. So this one's just a little dangly. So it's got like a cat toy. It's like a little spiral. And then this one's got a little cat. I just thought that was neat. Again, all these are around $1. They're like they cost like nothing. It's so cheap. It's like, how can they do that? I guess when you're making millions of them in China, I guess it's possible to do that. I don't know what this is. Oh, snowflakes. Oh, this is a set. So this is 2 earrings and a necklace. These are usually like anywhere from $1.20 to $3, and you get a matching necklace and earrings, which I thought was really cool. I'm actually thinking about starting a new little YouTube channel because I have so many of these now. I have so many coming in. I only spent like $40, and I have like 70 pair of earrings coming in. It's kind of ridiculous. It's so ridiculously cheap. It's like, how do they do that? Oh, these I'm actually hoping to make some money from. Earrings like this, little hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are a very big thing here in Edgewood. A lot of the people here love the hummingbirds, and so I'm trying to get hummingbird stuff that I can resell locally. And, oh, these are beautiful. These are kind of sinister and beautiful at the same time. They're beautiful because they look like little butterfly or fairy wings. They're sinister because the way you capture a fairy is by taking one of their wings. And now they're basically enslaved to you forever. So that's kind of cruel. Yeah, I know. Now, actually, a lot of these you can get on AliExpress. Temu has a better selection, and Temu sometimes has better prices for little stuff like this. However, AliExpress, minimum $3 order. So you can order 3 or 4 items and have it shipped. This is AliExpress. This all came off AliExpress. Look at this. Oh no, it came apart. One of the little gems fell off. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I just thought that was so cool. It's like a little butterfly wing or a little fairy wing. I have a thing for pixies. I love pixies. But yeah, it's ridiculous. You can get this stuff so freaking cheap. Ah, here's an asymmetric one. This one's cool. This is one of the asymmetrical ones where it's 2 different earrings that go together. It's like a theme kind of thing. These are just like little studs. So this one is a ghost and one is a pumpkin. So they're different, but they go together. You know, it's a theme. It's a Halloween thing. So I just thought that was cool. And that was like 50 cents. It's like, seriously? 50 cents? Yeah, I'll take that. It's such a cheap way to entertain yourself. You know, you just every day you could put a different pair in. I gotta wait like 30 days. Yeah, I want to get some of the LED ones too. Ah, here's a cool one. This is nice. This is one of the asymmetrical ones. So one of them is a bumblebee. And one of them is a honeycomb. How freaking cool is that? That's just so neat. It was like 90 cents. It was just dirt cheap. Hey, red light. It's so ridiculously cheap. And they look nice. And here's something else you can do. Most of these earrings are one of these little hoop things and basically a charm. Okay? So if you find some of these that you really, really like, well, then you buy. It's fun. And it's fun that I can afford, you know? I can't afford to do a whole lot, but I can afford to do this. What you do is you buy a good quality gold-plated set of these. Okay? Yep, I got them printed. You buy a good quality gold-plated set of these, and you put the charms on it. And now the part that goes into your ear is gold. And you won't have any problems with reactions. It's a little bit of work. You have to separate the charm and put it on your proper earring thing. But, in general, just buy gold-plated hoops and you're done. Problem solved. Ooh, let me put that back in here. Now I'm going to have to 3D print a whole organizer to mount all these things to because you'll lose them. You'll lose these things so easily. They're so tiny. But yeah, that's just the first set that I got. I got 2 more coming in the mail. And it costs like nothing. I spent like no money. It costs so little money, it's ridiculous. Red light, these are the... Yeah, we did a whole thing where I showed everybody how to make these on Tinkercad. But yeah, they came out really good. Matter of fact, I'm going to downgrade them to less filament because this is so overkill. This is like nuclear Armageddon mount. It's like 200 grams of filament. You're never going to break this, ever. It's still, I think it's 430 grams for 3. So that's 133 grams each, 140 grams each. Yeah, they came out really nice. And I also came up with a new way of doing it. I'm making this hole as big as I can, so 42 millimeters for this design. I can go a little bit bigger if I have to. But instead of making one of these for each lamp, which I realized is really dumb, because now if I ever replace that lamp, it has to be a lamp of the same size. So instead, these are all going to be the same size, 42 millimeters. Maybe a little bigger if I have to. And then what we'll do is I'll print a sleeve to go inside to change the inside diameter for whatever lamp I want to put in it. So I could just print a custom sleeve for each lamp. This way, if I replace the lamp, it only takes 10 grams of plastic to print a vase mode sleeve to slap in there. If you print this with a 0.8 millimeter nozzle, this is a 1 millimeter nozzle. It's way overkill. So I'm going to do it with a 0.8. You can print these in PLA. I am telling you now, these will not warp in the sun. This has so much beef and structure to it. Unless you're dumb enough to print these in black, these are not going to warp in the sun. And even in black, they probably won't warp in the sun. Where would they warp to? You know, what's going to warp? There's so much beef here. It's just not going to warp. And Big Bad, I don't know if you saw it, but this is my poison. My Pure Leaf extra sweet tea. It's a pure poison, but it's so good. It's really delicious, but it's so bad for me. But I guess I can show you. I got a couple minutes left. I gotta get ready to go to the produce thing. It's so delicious. But yeah, if you want to get your ears pierced, it's $4. I had someone ask me, "Oh, I thought you didn't have no money. How can you afford to get your ears pierced?" I was like, "Dude, it was $4. I was like, I can afford $4. Like, if you can't afford $4, you got other problems. But now you do have to be careful because sometimes you can actually get these things cheaper elsewhere. Sometimes they're cheaper even on Amazon. It all depends. Oh, that's interesting. They're doing what AliExpress is doing, $1.99 section. But yeah, just type in whatever you want. So earrings, and you wait until you see just how. Well, these are expensive. Why are these so expensive? What the hell? Am I on the wrong website? Why are they so expensive? This is Temu. When I go on my phone, most of these are pennies. Let me check on here. Let's bring up Temu. Is it different prices in the app? Yeah. 89 cents. $1.75. Yeah, 85 cents. 87 cents. Why is there so much more money on here? What the hell? Those are expensive, but they're sterling silver. None of these are worth this price. You'd be crazy to pay that. Why? Wait a minute, maybe sort by price low to high? There we go. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now you gotta watch out. Some of this stuff includes shipping. Like I can't imagine how they sell this for a nickel. It must be or maybe it's not. Is it really 4 cents? Really? It's 4 cents? How can they afford to sell it for 4 cents? Even from China, how could they afford to sell it for 4 cents? There's only 2 left. That might be part of it. Now, one of the problems with Temu is you got to spend $20. The minimum order. Well, you can spend less than 20, but then you have to pay shipping. So the minimum is $20. That's kind of cute. Little moon. Like the deer. That's kind of cute. A little starfish. Starfish are cute. Shooting stars. I love the maple leaves. I got a few maple leaf designs coming in. And I love these little ones too. I might eventually get 2 holes so I can have one for these little itty bitty studs and one for the little danglies because I love the danglies. And the mountain one's kind of cool. I live in the mountains too. If you like music, here's a musical note. You can see they're dirt cheap. They cost nothing. You can add 50 pair of earrings and get the $20, and you'll just have more earrings than you'll wear in the next year. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Here's some Halloween ones. But there's so freaking much on here. It's like Jesus. It's like how can they sell this so cheap? Oh, the octopus is cool. Yeah, free shipping. Wow. 20 cents. I wonder. Earrings? Hummingbird. I'd love to get like 30 pair of cheap hummingbird earrings and then resell them. That's kind of ugly. That's beautiful. These are beautiful. I've seen these before. The annoying thing is these have a necklace available too. It's the same charm but on a necklace. But yeah, this is something I would definitely buy a bunch of and try to sell because I think this would sell locally here. I think people would buy that. That's a woodpecker, not a hummingbird. But we have these birds too. It says hummingbird, but that's not. Why can't I? Oh, does it automatically open in a new window? It does automatically open. That's not a hummingbird. That's a robin. But we have those birds here, so that might actually be worth getting. Is it a pair? Yes, it is a pair. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is find a variety that I can get really cheap and then resell locally. You know, for a profit. I can sell these for $5 a pair locally. That's another pretty one. I just might place an order for some of these. I mean, with what Big Bad sent me, I think it might be worth risking $20 of that to get a bunch of these and then try reselling them. You know, when spring comes and the hummingbirds return, people will buy. I think people will buy them. And if I can get this much variety for 50 cents a piece, even if I sell them for $3 a pair, I'm making a 600% increase in my profit. I mean, it's pretty hard to argue with that kind of profit margin. That's more like a dove, not a hummingbird. Yeah, this is Temu. And then, of course, you can do AliExpress, too. They don't have as much a variety as far as the cute stuff like like Temu does, but if you go to their dollar days, you usually only have to hit either $10 or 3 items. So these are different deals they have, but this section here, Dollar Express, this stuff you only have to buy 3 items. See, free shipping with 3 items, and it's like 12-day delivery. So you don't have to wait a month to get it. You'll have it in 2 weeks. And now there is a maximum of 10 items per order, but you can place multiple orders. So you can order 10 and then place another order for 10. And now they even let you order multiple of the same thing. Like, I got these. I don't have them yet. They're on the way, but I had to have these. Come on. It's freaking s'mores, man. Hell yes, I want them. You see, it's $1.39. You know, $1.79. Here's 10 pair. If you have kids who love this kind of, you know, trinkety stuff like this, you know, I'm not into this kind of stuff, but I could see lots of kids being into this. There's 10 pair of earrings for 33 cents. No, that's for a single card, I think. Is it really 33 cents? Shit. It might be worth ordering a couple pair for that just to see if they sell. I want this, but the freaking Spaceman is the one that's never available. See? The one I want, the Spaceman, is not available. I don't want this. I don't want the planet. I don't want the moon and the stars. Oh, that one's available. That's not so bad. But I want this one. And this is the one you can never get. I like Ash. Oh, this one. I love this one. I got this one. This is on the way. Come on. Peanut butter jelly time. This is another one of those asymmetrical designs where each side's a little bit different. Now, see, this one here would be easy. See that little hoop? See how it just hooks right onto the charm? So if your daughter has a problem with that metal, just get surgical stainless hooks or gold-plated hooks and replace the hooks. Now, are you going to want to do this for 100 pair? No. But if you find a really cute pair that you want, you can do that. Oh, hell yes, I'm going to wear them. And if anybody doesn't like it, I'll sit on them. What are they going to do? What are they going to do to me? Nothing. That's exactly what they're going to do. Nothing. I'll fucking squish them. Oh, this is important. Who is this? Hello? Hi. Hi. Yeah. Can we reschedule? Yeah, because I'm on my stream right now. It should have been, but this stream went longer. Maybe in half an hour? Okay. 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 Half an hour. All right, bye. Um, yeah, look at this, dude. There's a link. I just posted a link. It's so freaking cheap. It's disgusting. You can pierce your own ears for $4. $4, and it didn't hurt at all. Just click, done. The hardest part was seeing where the goddamn stem was to figure out where it was going to go. I thought I had them really crooked, but it turns out my ears are actually crooked. My one ear is actually higher than the other. I got a freaky weird head. But yeah, look at, I mean, these prices are just ridiculous. So for less than $6, you can just pick 3 of these, and 3 items is the minimum, and then you grab them. I mean, it's so stupidly cheap. Most of the earrings on AliExpress are just over $1. See, $1.19, $1.99, $1.79. This is actually, I think this is a whole set of them. Some of them are, and it's just stupidly cheap. Now you pay slightly more, but you get you only have to order 3. Now if you're gonna spend $20, just go to Temu. I mean, look at these prices. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Oh, the candy canes are cute. 20 cents. Right? 22 cents, 23 cents. Oh wow. Oh, that's cute. I wish it was a cat. If that was a cat, I'd get it. Oh, it's acrylic. I don't like the acrylic ones. Yeah, that's acrylic. That's just a flat plate with a color image in it. I mean, it's not bad, I guess, but... Well, I've wanted earrings since I was a teenager, but I was too much of a pussy to get my ears pierced. And I finally got fed up and said, screw it. I don't care how much it hurts, I'm going to do it. And it didn't hurt at all. Wait until you see my face in the video I made. I put it on video just to keep myself from backing out. And the look on my face when I realized it didn't hurt at all. It was nothing. It was like, seriously? I was that worried about it? It was stupid. That's cute. I like that. I don't like the acrylic, though. I want that in metal. There's a funny ghost one. But yeah, I mean, look how cheap this is. This is so stupidly cheap. I mean, you can get so much for so little. It's incredible. It's truly incredible. So I'm gonna try to get a bunch of these kind hummingbird stuff, because hummingbirds are really big around here. People put up, hundreds of people around here put up feeders to feed the hummingbirds, and so I'm thinking this might be something people are willing to pay for. Especially nice ones. That's kind of cute. But so I'm hoping that most of these I'm just gonna wear, but the hummingbird ones I want to also try to sell. Oh well, that's nice. Prince Albert? What the hell is a Prince Albert? I'm not into piercings. So if that's some kind of piercing, that's not something I'm into. See, that doesn't look like a hummingbird. That looks like a mix between a peacock and a seagull. That's ugly. This one I think will do well because we have robins here, and this one will do well because it's just beautiful. I could probably sell these for $5 a pair, and they're 33 cents. I wonder how many can I get. I mean, it would be, that's 3 per dollar, so $10 would be $5 would be 15. Will it let me add 15? It did. Okay. No, you'd be surprised. It's going to be the next video I post to my Life in the Reach channel. The look on my face when I realized it didn't hurt at all. It was like, what the hell? I was so worried about that. It's like, it was literally nothing. Just click, like, did I miss? My first thought was I missed. That I didn't put it in. That was my first thought. And then I felt a little sting. I was like, well, I did something. Stupid. And now I can 3D print my own earrings too. Because every now and then I find these cool 3D printed earrings and I can't wear them. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff, and maybe I can get some stuff for Halloween for next year. But not now. I'll wait till later. If I try to store it here, it'll just get lost. See, this is kind of cool. I like these asymmetrical ones. Like this. One's a teacup and one's a teapot. I like asymmetrical ones like that. They're kind of cool. But yeah, it's so stupid cheap. Yeah, I did both ears. What's the point of doing one? Is that a thing? Like, do people do just one ear? I got one there and one there. I'm not into piercings. I'm into cute earrings. So one hole's enough. I don't need two. You know, what's the point of doing one ear? I mean, we're symmetrical. It kind of doesn't make sense. I see when people pierce their nose or eye, they do one. You know, and I'm never gonna do that. No, I don't need hardware sticking out of my face. No, thank you. I mean, I have no problem with people doing that. I mean, my sister likes doing that, and it's great. Do it. Go ahead. Not Michelle, Sarah. You know, if you like doing that, it's fine. But isn't that like a pirate? I don't know. What is the deal with one ear piercing? One ear piercing. Is it normal to only have piercing in one ear? I honestly don't know. It was deleted. Okay. It's a powerful way to assert your identity? Okay. Huh? You're kidding, right? So, one earring in the right ear indicates you're gay, one earring in the left ear indicates you're straight? Okay, that's weird. So, what does it mean when a guy gets both ears? Nothing? Yeah, I kind of figured the stigma was gone. Ear piercing is pretty common nowadays. Okay, that's why this says pre Y2K. Okay, so this is like an old thing that people used to do? Okay, whatever. I just think earrings are cool. Huh. So the an earring in one ear would convey your sexual orientation in the old pre Y2K. Weird. I guess that's something that if you're not in that community, you just don't know about it. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I got a set of these too, the jellyfish, and I got a set of the astronauts too. I love the astronauts, and I think I got a set of these too, the xenomorph, the aliens. But as you can see, they're now we're starting to get up in price a little bit, but still, you're still under $2 a pair. It is so ridiculously cheap to buy this stuff. It's just silly. But then this is AliExpress. Temu is even cheaper. Yeah. Oh, Michelle would love these. Michelle loves Beetlejuice. Yeah, if I'm gonna place an order for resale, adding $1 or $2 for stuff for Michelle for Christmas would be perfect. Oh, the snowmen are cute. Oh, a butterfly and a worm. That's kind of cute, but I don't like acrylic that much. It's kind of gaudy. What the hell is that? Oh, just a artistic design of some sort. Snake. But yeah, you just go on here and just you can find. Oh, that's cute. I like that. You can find this crazy cheap stuff like this. I want the red. Yeah. Here's 6 pairs. They're just simple little hoop ones, but 6 pair for 36 cents. It's so stupidly cheap. Is that little dinosaurs? Can't see it. Oh yeah, it's little dinosaurs. Little T-Rex. When you see ones that are like full color like this, that usually means they're acrylic. So it's a piece of plastic with a print on it. They're probably not bad, but just, I don't know. I don't like it. But yeah, so that's new hobby. Something new to have fun with and dick around with. Oh, you guys couldn't even see what I was showing you. Of course not, because I'm an idiot. But you see I'm way down the page and it's still absolutely dirt cheap. I want to look for more from Michelle. I want to try to get her a nice little Christmas package. You know, and at 35 cents a piece, I can afford to buy a few of those. Oh, that's cute. I just wish it wasn't acrylic. I don't care. I want to find more Beetlejuice ones, more horror movie ones, like Freddy Krueger and stuff like that. Michelle loves that stuff. Oh, wow, that's pretty. Especially living in the mountains. Okay, a lot of these only have a few left, and that's probably why they're selling them cheap. They probably want to get rid of them. I guess that makes sense. It's like a loss leader just to clear out the inventory, so to speak. Come on, where's some more Beetlejuice ones? I know there's more of those. I want the Beetlejuice snake. I've seen that one before. I don't like it, but I know Michelle will love it. You know, the black and white snake with the Beetlejuice head. She loves Beetlejuice. And she loves Friday the 13th, Michael Myers, Crystal Lake, that kind of stuff. She loves all that horror movie stuff. She really likes the horror movie stuff. I don't know if she'll like cutesy horror stuff like mummies. I don't know if she'll like that or not. I have no idea. But I know she'll like things like Beetlejuice. So those are, a solid yes. There's no chance she won't like those. I want to print some of these too. Print little candy corns because that's something I can 3D print pretty easily. But then again, 3D printed or buy it for 41 cents. It's so cheap. It's stupid. It's mind-boggling that you can get stuff this cheap. It gives okay. If you can buy this stuff at retail from this Chinese web, is that a Death Star? Is that a freaking jeweled Death Star? That looks like a Death Star. It's probably not. Okay, it's not supposed to be a Death Star. But that kind of looks like a Death Star. Doesn't that look like a Death Star? But if you can get this, oh, there's very little labor involved in this. This is all machine made. There'd be no reason to use labor when you can have the problem with labor is not the cost of the labor. The problem with labor is time. A machine can make 1,000 of these in the time it takes a person to make 10. These are all just machine stamped. But what it makes you realize, and you got to also remember, it's this is I'm gonna look through that later. That's getting addictive. But you think, okay, that guy's being paid $1 an hour. That's slave labor. No, it's not. Being paid $9 an hour here, that's slave labor. Because the amount of money they're being paid doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's as irrelevant as the 1 or the 5 or the 20 on your bills in your pocket. They don't matter. What matters is how much are they being paid relative to their cost of living. That's what matters. Why do you think people from the US will move to some of these cheaper countries to retire? Because you might have enough to live in a mobile home park here in the US and live in a villa on the beach in Vietnam. Okay? So because your money goes further. You might have, $150,000 in your retirement account, which will do nothing here in the US. You can live like I live for 7 years. Okay? 7 or 8 years. Or you can go to Vietnam and live like a king for 20. Okay? So the money goes further. And that's one of the things that the internet is doing. If you can work online and live where it's cheaper, that's why I live here. Do you know how screwed I would be right now if I lived anywhere else? I got a GoFundMe for $1,800 up. At this point, I'm begging for help. And I got my hand out and I'm asking for assistance. And that $1,800 will pay 2 years of property taxes and a year of car insurance, which will give me a year to try to get things in order. Because I make enough money for my monthly bills, just barely. It's these balloon payment bills that I have a problem with right now. And I got my first electric bill under $100. My electric bill last month was $91. Yeah. New goal: get it below 80. um. But one of the reasons I chose to live here was that I do have access to a city, Albuquerque, 25 miles away, 30 miles away. It's not exactly local. It was a lot more local when I had the electric car able to go there because I could just go there and back, and it would cost me $3. Now going there and back cost me $10. But my cost of living is really very cheap. The biggest problem I have right now is I've defaulted on all my credit cards. I mean, I carried over a lot of debt from my dad when he died, and the house didn't sell for enough to pay off all the debt. So I had to absorb some of my dad's debt into my personal credit in order to be able to sell the house and clear all the debt. And because the house was in legal limbo, the depending on which part of the government you ask, the house was mine or the house was my dad's. Okay, you're saying, well, you were not responsible for your dad's debts. Yeah, I kind of am, because they attached his debts to my house. Once those debts attached to my house, well, can't they just legally declare, well, wait a minute, that house is legally yours, so we can come after you for those debts? And the lawyer told me that might happen. He says it's not legal, but it might happen. And not legal and you can afford to fight are two different things. It doesn't matter if I'm right if I can't afford to fight it. Okay? So the safest thing to do was to wipe out the debts. And so I had to carry like $37,000 in debt when I came out here. If it wasn't for that debt, I'd be okay. I would have a savings. I'd be able to float through these bad times that I'm having. But because of that debt, I was making those payments. And now I've defaulted on all that, and I guess we'll see if they sue me or not, because that's $40,000 in debt. They might not just let that go. Theoretically, they can't come after my house. I have homestead protection in New Mexico. That's one of the reasons I chose this state. Michelle could get health care, and they had homestead protection. So the government can come after your house, but creditors can't. And they can come after you, but they can't go after your house. They can't render you homeless to go after their debt. And my monthly bills aren't that much. My internet's $10. My electric's about $150. My water's about $30. So that's 3, 4. It's $190. And the phone bill's $40. So that's $230 a month. And we get EBT for Michelle, so food's no problem. And that's about how much, I make about $300 a month. But then you have to add in taxes and car insurance. And of course, in the wintertime, the electric bill goes to about $250 to to run the heat. So I tend to get behind a bit in the wintertime, and then when March comes and it starts to warm up, my electric bill goes down and I get caught up again. And so I'm like right on that balancing point where I'm just barely making enough. But it's those balloon payments, you know, the $600 for the car insurance and the $600 for the taxes that just kill me. Because, you know, I have enough to pay this month. I have enough to pay next month. I have enough to pay next month. But I don't have enough to pay the balloon. And right now, the doctor thinks that if I keep going the way I'm going, if nothing bad medically happens, and I keep losing weight at the rate that I'm losing weight, in a year, I should be healthy enough to not have too much trouble with standing up and walking anymore. I can stand up and walk just fine. I can walk out to the car. I can walk to the neighbor's house might be a little far. But it's not a problem until I have to stay on my feet. That's when it's a problem. And the problem is the only jobs available are retail jobs. They want you to stand for 8 hours. They're not going to hire me if I have to sit every 30 minutes. They're just not. Okay? So I either have to make this do better, or I have to, well, both. I have to do both. But I also have to fix my health to the point where I can get a regular job. Because even 1 day a week at Harbor Freight, I'd be fine. That's $15 an hour. If I work an 8-hour shift, you know, that's 80, 40, that's $120 a week. That's $400 a month after taxes. Right? 400 plus what I'm making on YouTube? Plenty. I would be fine. I wouldn't be living like a king. I wouldn't be able to, you know, add concrete to the driveway or anything like that. I wouldn't be able to upgrade anything. But I would have no problems paying my bills. And I'd even be able to put away a tiny bit of money. You know, I'd be able to put away a few $100 every year. You know, maybe $300-400 every year. And take her out someplace nice, go to a concert, something like that, so she doesn't have to sit in a room and do nothing all day. But I just need to get to that point where if I can make an extra $400 a month, that's it. I just got to get to that point, and then I'll be stable. I'll be making slightly more than what I'm spending in my utilities and my taxes and whatnot. So I just got to try to get to that point. If I get there, I'll be good. It'll be stable. So this goddamn eye thing just screwed me so bad. I mean, if you saw what a mess this house is right now, I cannot believe it got that bad that fast. Just, it's almost like I went to sleep one night and I woke up the next night and like, what the hell happened to my house? It got out of hand so fast. It just, yeah, I never expected that. I never expected 8 months is all it would take for this much to go wrong. Just, how do people, I guess that's how people have their lives ruined. You know, they get sick, they get behind on everything, and then they're screwed. You know, the only thing saving me is the fact that my cost of living is so incredibly low, and I don't have to buy much. I bought so many resources to keep myself above board, above water. Like, I don't have to buy rags. I have a couple hundred rags. I don't have to buy laundry detergent. I have enough laundry detergent for 10 years. I don't have to buy dish soap. I have 3 or 4 years worth of dish soap. The only time I get screwed is when an appliance breaks. Like when the fridge broke, that hurt bad. And now the water heater under the sink broke. It almost burned down my house. That's going to hurt bad. I'm hoping that'll be a warranty replacement. It's still under warranty. And, you know, as long as nothing major goes wrong, you know, my cost of living is very low. And right now, that's saving my ass. When I tell people I live on less than $400 a month, they're like, how? Well, I don't have to pay rent. I own my home. Okay? So my rent is $50 a month for taxes. You know, it's about $600 a year, so it's about $50 a month if you treat it like rent. And you know, I already have everything I need. I have computers, I have printers, I have filament. I don't have to buy filament. I just go out in a bus and go into my big giant 4x4x4 foot pallet crates. I have 2 of them, and I pick a roll of filament. I still have probably like 400 kilograms of filament. You know, I don't have the new fancy colors. You know, it's all old filament, but it works fine. Right? So I can do in fact, my biggest problem right now is I can't run the printers. I have all these printers and I can't run them because I don't have the money for the electricity. You know, if I run that CR10 24/7, it's $30 a month. It's $1 a day to run that printer. You think, well, that's not that much. Well, it is to me. That's a 30% increase in my electric bill. Money I don't have. If I want to run two printers like the CR10 and the Ender 3, that's $45 a month. It's about $15, It's about $16 a month to run a CR6 SE or an Ender 3, and it's about $29 to $31 a month to run a CR10. This is assuming 24/7. Like you just have the printer constantly printing stuff. I was like, when you're making $350, $400 a month, $30 is a lot. That's 10% of your total income. If I was making $800 a month, okay, I can afford to spend $100 a month running 4 printers. And then, you know, as those 4 printers ran, I did more projects that would make more money, which would allow me to run more printers. It's a snowball effect. And I got to stop doing only live streams. I got to start doing edited, proper videos, because those are the ones that are going to get the views. You know, those are the ones that are going to make the AdSense revenue. Those are the ones that are going to get people to click on the affiliate links in the description. You know, it's important that I do those kind of videos. And so I got to work on getting this posted. And I got to work on getting this done, because this is a dual income source. I can make income from videos, and I can also make income from selling rocket kits. And I got to work on the vases. You know, these are turning out really nice, so I got to work on this. Not only putting them up online, I think I have them done enough now that I can put them up online. I just want to do the hexagon one. So I have 1 through 6. And I also want to try my hand at selling finished displays. You know, buy the fake flowers and put the marbles and the styrofoam in here, put the flowers in here, sell an entire centerpiece. You know, sell that as a finished unit. See if I can make money doing that. I'm going to print these anyway. I've already got 6 of them printed. So it'll cost me almost nothing to try it and see if there's a market for it. See if people are interested in buying that kind of thing. I have no idea. But go from there, you know. Does this live stream bring in anything for you? Not really. I get my AdSense from unless, well, for example, I got, oh, that's the half hour. The like what you sent me, I made that from this stream. If I wasn't here, you wouldn't have sent that. But as far as the stream itself, not much. Yeah, I get that. And but what I need is thousands of views, not a couple hundred views. You don't make any money from a couple hundred views. Streams are good for viewing time, but they're not good for view count. So a mix of streams and videos is good, because the stream, because they're long, your viewer time goes up because you're sitting here watching me. You know, you watch one of my videos, it's 12 minutes. You watch this, it's 3 hours. That's a lot of view time. But it's not a lot of viewer count, because as you can see, there's come on, there's 13 people here. Okay, that's just not a lot of people. Now part of that is, you know, because I killed this channel when I got sick, and part of that is the vendors moved on to fresh meat. Yeah, YouTube Shorts are supposed to be pretty good, so I've been trying to do more of those, and but I need to do more 3D printing YouTube Shorts, because those do much better than the replying to other people's stuff, just because I feel like it. But I plan to do that with, I'm hoping there's a Temu and AliExpress generic link, like not a link to a specific item, but just like I have with Amazon, the link just goes to Amazon and then you can buy whatever you buy. Because the problem is, for example, if I were to link you to this, okay, well, the problem is this link would only be good for a couple of days. And you can't do that. It's maybe for certain things, but 60 seconds isn't really enough. I would have to really condense the hell out of it. But that might be a good idea to try to do that. I can edit a video and then upload it to Shorts. It doesn't have to be a live video. I might try that. Big Bad, I might do that. See what I can do in 60 seconds. But like this here, if I link to this, how much am I going to make on a commission on this? A penny? No, so, and on top of that, this link will be no good in a week. Okay? This link will be no good in 41 hours, most likely. So what I need is a generic link to go to Temu and AliExpress. I got to find out if I can get that. And then I just make a commission on whatever you buy. And then what I can do is I can just put those 2 links in Shorts. And you make a 60-second video saying, hey, here's the new earrings I got this week. You know, if you like these, look for them down below. Search for this or whatever. And even if they don't get the same earrings, they say, oh, those are cool and they only cost you $1. Okay, I'll go and buy 20 pair of earrings for $10. And if I can make links like that, then I can maybe make some money on Shorts. And maybe make some better money on that. So I'm going to try to do it. That's hard to do, though. Because the YouTube makes it very difficult to link a short video to a long video. It's not easy to do that. And which is really annoying. They should make it like the hardest thing is when you have multiple shorts and you watch a short and it stops and now you can't find the other half. They need to make that easier. It should be as simple as, you know, click next video and get to that other half of that video. Although some people do that on purpose because they're assholes. It gets you right to the point where you're going, oh, this is cool. Take it away from you. But but yeah, I plan to do that, and the reason I plan to do that is because it's so cheap. I was planning on doing a jigsaw puzzle channel with Michelle, but then she got sick. And so now I have dozens and dozens and dozens of jigsaw puzzles, and she's not here to do them. So hopefully she'll get better and get better enough that we can do that. And because the more I can diversify my income sources, not only will that result in us having more money to live on, but it'll also give it inertia. So if something happens to me, that money will keep coming in for a little while, and she'll have something to live on until things can get sorted. And because I'm always worried, you know, I'm going to drive down the street, get hammered by a semi-truck, and that's it. What happens to Michelle? She's screwed. She's absolutely screwed. All right, I got to go because I have to take this call from Eileen. So I will see you guys next week. In about 30 days, I'll be able to change these to something else. And, well, let's hope things get better. By then, I should know whether or not I'm going to have this problem solved with the city.